Wall Street Journal ran an editorial by Joseph Epstein, not Jeffrey Epstein, he's dead. And so this absurd Epstein said that we should not call Dr. Jill Biden doctor. Wait, why? Does she fake her way into schools like Trump did? Is she hiding all of her college transcripts like Trump did? Is she hiding her high school transcripts like Trump did? I keep saying did, but actually Trump is currently hiding high school and college transcripts. Because if you saw them, you'd know there's no way in the world he could have gotten into Penn with the grades he had from high school or from Fordham. Okay, so he went to Fordham for a year, then transferred to Penn. There's no way. His dad bought him into those schools. So, and he's, I finished, I likely finished at the top of my class at Penn. Really? Then show us your grades. No, you didn't finish. You finished probably, it's possible you finished at the very bottom. Like the dumbest person who's ever gone there, because he didn't belong there in the first place, because he's a dummy and they paid his way in. There's no question he hides it. So that is not the case with Jill Biden. Jill Biden actually went and got 2 master's degrees and a PhD and has a doctorate. It is called a doctorate, okay, from the University of Delaware. She did it 100% the right way. Now, by the way, one little other fun irony to this story. My friend Joseph Epstein, who wrote the op-ed, has an honorary doctorate. Okay, I don't know this at all. I'll just make that clear, right? My speculation is that he's referred to himself as a doctor 200 times. Anyways, back to Jill Biden. He's like, well, since she's not a medical doctor, we shouldn't call her Dr. Jill Biden. Why? Why are we just changing that rule now? We've been calling people who got PhDs doctors, I don't know, forever, because that's what it's called. And now all of a sudden we're supposed to change it because of it's Joe Biden's wife. I have much more, but Jayar.
It's the basis for why, people can always say they don't like when someone puts PhD on the back of like an email signature, or if you're an attorney, to make sure everyone knows, hey, the law firm of Jayar Jackson and Jackson and Jackson. Make sure you guys know that. So, if that's your profession, that's what you do. That's who you are. That's what you put in the work for. Now, I get the complaints about someone telling you that all the time, but dropping it in a professional setting, why? Just because? Because now she has a higher standing, we're gonna hear more from her, we're gonna actually call her first lady. So then therefore we have to make sure we downgrade her to a degree. It's a little transparent about the insecurities that fall with this guy. Again, we're speculating, but I feel like there's a little bit of jealousy going on here. Like, oh, I got an honorary doctorate, and I thought that was good enough for me to float by on while my friends are annoyed that I keep telling them about it. But someone who actually got a doctorate, I got to get mad at them. Number one, because she has a high profile, and number two, she's a woman. I'm sorry. Number one, she's a woman, and number two, she's got a high profile. So therefore, we can't have this. There has to be some kind of downgrade to someone who comes in just because you're upset about what happened. Again, I don't know who he voted for. I don't know this guy, but he's definitely upset about this very basic, simple thing that everyone has seen their entire lives.
Look, there's a couple of points you could make about titles that are kind of funny, which I'll get to in a second. But why are they doing this? Well, 2 reasons, Jayar. Number one, it's part of their attack on education and facts. If you want people to believe in alternative facts, you have to attack actual facts. And who gives you facts? Journalists, enemy of the people, professors and people who have doctorates. So they're not real doctors. Don't listen to them. Scientists and doctors, don't listen to them on COVID. You don't need a mask. You don't need a vaccine. You don't need this. Attack every single person that brings you facts. Now these PhD people who are really smart and well educated and have all these facts, well, they vote Democratic. They do. They overwhelmingly, anyone with graduate degree votes overwhelmingly Democratic. So on average, of course, not everyone does, but I'm saying overwhelmingly for that category. So they're like, let's attack them. These sons of bitches have facts. We hate facts. So that's it. They're not doctors anymore. So that's number one reason. Number two is we're back to ticky-tack so-called offenses. So Donald Trump was incredibly negligent during COVID. Now over 300,000 Americans have died. Who cares? Not important. He said to inject bleach into yourself No, it doesn't matter. It's not. He was kind of joking. We all saw with our own eyes. He wasn't joking. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. He, on several occasions, said the stealth fighter is actually invisible, that you cannot see it with the naked eye. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. He's so genius. He said he fell in love with Kim Jong-un, a communist dictator. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now all of a sudden, Dr. Jill Biden is an actual doctor, but not the kind of doctor we like. That's it. That's it. We get major issue. Everybody get all riled up. We're back to Obama wore a tan suit. He put mustard on a burger. Dr. Jill Biden's not the right kind of doctor. Okay.
It seems unreal. It seems like you bring up those three things: the tan suit, the mustard. And now it's Joe Biden. But also they did it with Obama just being a law guy who's at Harvard. So okay, yeah, he's just, look at this elitism. Look at this, what do they call them? The educated elite. I think they even threw that around. The educated elite. The people who know what they're talking about because they learned it, and then they like to tell you. That's the enemy of the state. That's the enemy of the people because they're smart and like to tell you facts when you're trying to give them fantasy. That's the battle we're having. So therefore, again, you have to structurally attack it. You can't attack her on any merits. You have to attack her on the structure of who she is and where she came from.
Jayar, it gets even better than that. Okay, so get a load of this. Then Ben Shapiro jumps on this bandwagon. He loves this. He can't stop talking about his wife, who's a doctor, right? So he's like, hey, don't get into my wife's thing, okay? Just because you got a PhD, okay? I'm not gonna call you a doctor. Doctor is my wife, not you guys. You smart people, no way, okay? So, but he does it in a super ironic way. Let me give you a quote from him. He says, if you're not impressed by Harvard Law, then you certainly should not be impressed by a degree from the University of Delaware in education. When I was at Harvard Law, an actual prestigious law school, and he goes on and on. No, I'm done with you. Okay, so wait, we're supposed to care that you went to Harvard Law, but we're not supposed to care that she has a doctorate? And did you just say that it doesn't count because she went to University of Delaware, you elitist prick?
Yeah.
Okay. So there is no end to their hypocrisy. Okay, now
and Harvard too, obviously, because as I mentioned, Obama was at Harvard. So then, if you're at Harvard, it's okay. If someone in your opponents is at Harvard, it's totally a liberal bastion of lies. It's being forced on our children.
100%. Obama was the editor-in-chief of the Harvard Law Review. That means basically you're the top student at Harvard Law. That is a hell of a thing. The entire right wing was like, doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean he's smart at all. No way. It's elitist, and plus he's black. Affirmative action. I bet it was affirmative action. There is no affirmative action for an editor of the Law Review. That's not a thing. Okay. Anyway, then now they turn around and they're like, but remember how great Ben Shapiro is because he went to Harvard Law School. Okay. Now, look, there is fun you could have with titles, and some people are unbearable. So, like, for example, I'm a lawyer. Here, let me pull a Shapiro. I went to Columbia Law School. That's a really prestigious university, really prestigious law school. Okay. Okay, but if I came to you and I said, hey, I'm Cenk Uygur, Esquire. You would be within every right to say, get the F out of here. Okay, so look, some old school dudes might say Esquire at the end of their name, but don't. Okay, you don't have to prove to people that you're a lawyer that badly. So because that's not a thing that people normally use. Whereas everybody who has got a doctorate is a doctor. We use that all the time.
It's pretty basic.
And some people get carried away with it. I remember once I was playing basketball at Penn. I'm sorry, I went University of Pennsylvania, my second Ivy League school. I do declare. Okay, anyway, and some guy hurt his ankle. And one guy that was playing goes, everybody clear out. I'm MD PhD. And we're like, wait, what does the PhD have to do with this? Like, mad respect for the PhD, but I'm sure it doesn't help you with the ankle situation here, right? So in that particular situation, you could have fun with it. But saying to every person who has a doctorate, it doesn't count. Nah, you know what you could do with that.
Go study.
By the way, learn actual facts at an actual school. Don't watch conservatives.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. I really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, Jayar. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.